Biggest eating thing that I couldn't handle was when you had breakfast with tuna fish, oatmeal, and what else was
Celery.
it? Celery.
Yeah. So what did you think once I started running slower than I had my freshman year with the binging and weight gain?
Well, that's when, at that point, we kind of knew there was a situation
Yeah.
going on. So then it was so much easier. It goes, wow, yeah, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the weight gain thing was a big part of it because it was a dramatic weight gain at that point from running. And so that was hard to watch because I knew people already put you into a category of being the All-American runner, the school record as a freshman. So I figured, well, if she's that as a freshman, what is she going to be as a junior?
Right.
And then things started falling apart. And that was very difficult to watch because I knew the time and effort that you put in to get to that place, and to see it all starting to crumble around you. And there was nothing, there's no conversation I was going to have with you that was going to change. There's nothing that was going to, a magic pill that was going to make it all go away. You had to go through the process, and that's what you did, and that was very difficult to watch.
Yeah. Did the eating disorder make you think differently of me?
No, I mean, and not to, if you're thinking of an emotion like disappointment or pride and all that, like I said, you growing up, you were always a little different in the way of how you approach things. You were very regimented, you had a certain way of doing things, there was a right way and a wrong way, and you always followed that path. So there was no disappointment. I just figured, well, this is her personality being triggered, or the food is being triggered, and they're working hand in hand with each other. So no, there was no sense of different feelings towards you, like, oh, I can't believe she did this. She could have been All-American twice, and now she chose this path of not doing something properly with the eating. But I not once have I ever said, oh, this is so disappointing that she's. I was frustrated that you were not able to do the things that you wanted to do because of all this. And I know you were being tortured by it because I could see it in your face and the tears that were around the house. So that was hard to watch, but unfortunately sometimes you just watch this thing unfold, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, because I told even Mom in the last video, the best thing you guys ever did for me was just continually support me. Even if you didn't understand it, if it was confusing for you, you know, you never stressed, oh, you need to get back to running fast again or anything. You just made sure that I got help, and you were just there for me, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, there's sometimes your tongue was bleeding because you wanted to say something,
Yeah.
but I knew it was probably the most inappropriate thing. But it's amazing some of the stuff that you think is going to be helpful is going to be the most hurtful thing, and that's true with a lot of disorders, with even with alcohol and other things where people, well, if you want to quit, just quit. That's how easy is that? What else you got? Give me something tougher now.
Right.
And this whole thing is, education is the key to this whole thing. That's what I learned is, I'm not going to give advice on something I know nothing about. So if anyone has a problem or they think someone has a problem, get professional. Talk to somebody who studies this, who knows the psyche of it all. And that's probably the best advice I could get as a parent or a friend, is if you see someone heading down a path that they need some help, yeah, that's all you, as a friend you always want to give your 2 cents, but sometimes you're saying the wrong things, not knowing it. It comes from their heart, but sometimes it's not, it has to be more from the head.
Exactly. I think an important conversation we had, it was in the summer of 2013 when I was dealing with binge eating and trying to get back into racing that next cross-country season. We had a conversation about the eating disorder, and you know, I'd gained all this knowledge from going to therapy and doing my own research and understanding my body better and trying to explain it all to you. And I don't think it ever really clicked for you, but I think that was an important conversation because it showed you didn't have to completely understand it. But one of the things we talked about too is the difference between discipline and disorder.
Yes.
And I don't know if your thoughts are still kind of the same on that, or what you...
Well, that was always my conversation.
Yeah.
You always looked at me and I goes, well, I like to eat a bucket of Haagen-Dazs, but if I do, do I have a disorder, or do I just want enough discipline to stop and say that's just too much?
Yeah.
And I've always felt that way because I've always thought moderation is what you're shooting for.
My eating had become so crazed because of what I was trying to restrict myself that it became a disorder. So it was easy for me to, eat a bucket of ice cream, like you say, without feeling like I can control it. But now, because I know how to eat more balanced and the disorder for the most part isn't there, I can eat a bite of ice cream and feel fine and not have this urge and intense craving, which the eating disorder creates, to eat the whole thing. So it's, I guess,
Well, the biggest eating thing that I couldn't handle was when you had breakfast with tuna fish, oatmeal, and what else was
celery.
it? Celery.
Yeah. So another part of eating disorders is that we'll eat really strange combinations of food, but I had a rhyme and reason for every single thing I ate in that combination.
In your head this made sense. I'm just like, oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, but that was like my safe food, and I felt it was the best, perfect food for me to eat and feel fine. Like I could walk away from that meal and feel good about myself.
Yeah, even the cats walked away from it. They didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think Kellogg's is going to pick up on that recipe
No.
for
It was, well, you had a bite of it once, remember?
I had to try it. Maybe I'm missing something here. And no, I wasn't.
You liked it okay. You were like, it's actually
I love
okay.
tuna fish and love oatmeal. I just don't know if necessarily in the same spoon.
Well, you weren't like, oh, that's disgusting. You were just like, oh.
I like everything else. So
yeah,
I eat
he's
liver
not
and
picky.
onions, so that I could eat anything. It's just not
Yeah.
something I would choose or put together as a.
Yeah.
And it won't be on anyone's menu very soon.
No, I don't even eat it anymore. I could eat it and be okay.
Well, it's because it's outlawed now.
I eat delicious breakfast now. It's really fun. So what would your suggestion or advice be for other parents going through this, or maybe people in your position?
As I kind of alluded in the last question, is get help from someone. I mean, the first thing, especially men, they want to do is they want to solve a problem. Some people come to them and they want to talk about this, and the first thing you do, well, here's what you need to do. I found I am so out of this league. I have no idea what makes someone want to eat 30 bananas. I didn't know what's going to make somebody want to, do this or binge or not eat. And so I'm just saying, I know these things exist, but I'm not anywhere near the capacity to start giving advice. And when we start saying there's people who do this for a living, they go to school, they earn degrees in that, get the advice that's going to be the best thing for them and for that situation. So I learned to, believe it or not, just shut my mouth sometimes and just say, I'll support you, but this is not my category for help. There may not be some parents out there as supportive as what we were.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
And that's not a pat on our back, it's just saying that we educated ourselves, and that's what I'm saying is, if I would have just started talking from the, speaking from the hip, as soon as I heard about it, I would have said a bunch of bad things, other than I just, after you get older enough, you start realizing that sometimes you just shut up and then learn a few things before you open up your mouth. And that's one of the lessons I've learned after so many years. Just support people, but get the right information in their heads, not the one that you think could be possibly be right.
So if you guys have any other questions for my parents, or just any comments about our conversations together, please feel free to comment in the section below. I'm also going to have links to the book, and we'll have another video up in a few weeks for some more interviews. But thank you for talking with me and sharing your side of everything, because I think that's really important.
And if there's anything I can do to help, we're a team.
Yes.